Man that's never heard "I'm proud of you," where does he fit into life nowadays?
Is that an issue of him, or is that an issue of the people around him? And it's a little bit of both, of course, right? People are more likely to say that's impressive if you do something impressive. But some people, they find it, and I've definitely struggled with this, they find it difficult to compliment somebody because to compliment somebody seems like you're not good enough yourself. Right. And so to say, wow, you're so good at that almost makes it feels internally like, well, I'm not good at that. Right. Or I'm not as good. Or maybe I am as good, but I don't want to say it because I don't want you to catch up. Right. And this battle for ego is really tough. It's a really tough thing to deal with. And I don't know how to handle that battle other than constantly reminding yourself that someone else's success is not in competition with your own. There's not a limited amount of success to go around, right? There's not. We can all push that, whether that's in the form of compliments or it's in the form of financial success or it's in the form of familial success. Right? There's lots of different kinds here. Someone else having it doesn't mean that you can't. It's not a threat to you having it. So taking that internally, what that means is tell more people you're proud of them, right? A lot of the time you can change your own mood by telling somebody how happy you are for them, right? You might feel alone, but you tell somebody how they're such a good friend, right? You feel less alone. You might feel sad, but you tell somebody how happy they make you, right? And now you feel happier. And this kind of reverse mechanism, this kind of a positive feedback loop, where if you tell somebody something, you feel it yourself, which allows you to tell more people, which you feel yourself even more, right? That's the same as the negative feedback loop, which is when you don't say it and you feel even more dejected. And so you're less likely to say it still.
What if I don't feel I'm impressive?
Well, feelings are fleeting. The average feeling lasts 30 seconds, according to Anna Lubka from the University of Stanford. And they don't last forever, and they can come and go. And anybody who's learned a language before will tell you that sometimes after a day of learning a language, you feel like you're fluent, and the very next day you feel like you're completely inept in that language. And I would say the feeling, while important, doesn't matter to objective reality. You might not feel a certain way, but that doesn't mean that that's not true. So let's just say you focus on the feeling and you listen to it nonstop. Well, that feeling is going to tell you to not improve, right? I'm not impressive, and therefore I don't want to try to become impressive. Okay, well, now you don't work out. And now you don't put in the extra hour at work. Now you don't try and pursue the girl at the bar and talk to her, right? Whereas if you ignore the feeling entirely and you focus on what's good, what you already know to be good, it's good that I work out. It's good that I try at my job. It's good that I move out. It's good that I go and talk to the girl, even if she says no to me, and the next 9 will too, but one of them says yes, right? If you remind yourself of what's logically true, despite the feeling can be there, but sometimes the feeling won't be there, right? If we design our life based on feelings alone, we're going to live in a roller coaster. So this is where we introduce the concept of systems, right? John C. Maxwell introduced me to the concept of systems in his book, The 17 Indisputable Laws of Leadership, something like that, where he said basically systems allow average people to perform at extraordinary rates. But without systems, even extraordinary people can only hope for ordinary results. And the reason is if I sit down, right, and I've done this many a time, and I say, Kirk, what's your perfect day? If you could live the perfect day, one where you go to bed and you're so proud of yourself, what would that day be? And so I start writing. I say, well, probably be a glass of lemon water there in the beginning of the day. So I'd have my water, feel hydrated and refreshed. Then I'd grab my coffee and I'd sit down and read my book. I read a lot, but I hate it. Oh my God, I hate it. So do the things you hate in the morning. That's when you have the highest amount or the least amount of ego depletion, which is essentially willpower. So I sit down.
Eat the frog.
Yeah, exactly. So I sit down and I'll read my book. And then I go, it'd be really nice if after that I went and worked out because I want to get that out of the way before I start my work day. So I don't need to think about it. Awesome. So those are a couple things. Now I have a hearty breakfast. I do my work. I do my work for the day. And then maybe I catch up with a friend and hang out with somebody, FaceTime my mom or dad, right? That to me is an ideal day. Maybe I work on a startup. Maybe I learn a language. Maybe I read some more, whatever, right? If I've designed that, I now don't need to think the next morning about what I should do because I've already designed it. I've already designed the perfect Kirk, the ideal state Kirk that I want to achieve, regardless of my feeling the next morning. If I wake up feeling dejected, like I'm a loser, like I can't do anything, I know that I can just do those things and I'm likely going to feel better, right? This idea of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, it basically says that your feelings, actions, and thoughts all influence each other, which is very interesting because that means if you're not feeling a certain way, you can act in a certain way and your thoughts and feelings will modify. And if you are feeling a certain way, right, you can use that to motivate yourself to do other things. So, like, if I could go back to the start of your question, feelings are important, but they don't determine who you are. They just determine how you feel. What determines who you are is your action. So create a system that you're proud of, that despite your feelings, right, you know what your next step should be.